Hey guys, what's up? This is Rapid, and after a long day of casting, I am finally here to bring you a scrim between Team Lzuruha, and then there's these guys over here. This will be the old OMG Its team. And so you used to have OMG Its Naya, OMG Its EXC, OMG Its Inc., a bunch of those guys. This is their team now, and while they may have changed their name, I'm not totally sure about that. I'm just going to call them Team OMG Its because that's how I know them. That's probably where you guys have heard of them if you've heard of them before. Now, what Digester is commenting on here is that they've counterpicked their tryhards so effectively because what they've done is, and actually to point out their counter jungle patterns, both of them are around in the other team's jungle. However, the difference being that, oh wait, OMG Its dropping the pink wards at their own blue buffs. So instead of just trying to counter jungle, what they're going to do is they could do an interesting split strategy where they double buff, where they steal one buff and then take one of their own. I've seen Moscow 5 used to do that a lot in, I think it was Kiev. They gave buffs to one person. So now how are they going to pull this off? The best route of attack would be to wrap around here. Tedstickle's actually in the danger zone. He's actually playing jungle on Mumu. It's not really the best jungler, and actually they can see Digester right now. And here they go. We're gonna have the flash. The pulverize is down. The Galio, resolute smite is down as well. Digester will be first blood. There's also going to be Tedstickle's caught in the middle of everything. He's gonna flash over the wall. Will we see a counter flash? No, they're just gonna try to get him as low as possible. You're gonna see a CV over the wall to try to pick him up. He's extremely low, and will we see Karthus go over it? We're gonna see a teleport down from Galio. He's gonna go all the way up to top lane, start his laning phase before he misses out on too much. Tedstickles and Slushy are still in here. We're gonna see a JDWU get bound, and the blue buff will get stolen here by Tedric Sticklesers. And so he's gonna go in there and actually will pick up a Karthus, but in the meantime, take down Tedstickles. So blue buff actually goes nowhere. The blue buff dies with Karthus's last undying breath, and that's actually going to be pretty significant in that Slushy's going to have a laning phase that begins with him taking the very first wave. However, JDWU is going to be pretty significantly behind in his jungle. He has A, no buff, B, he's not in the jungle, C, he's at half health, and D, he's friggin' Nautilus. And if you don't get blue buff level 1 with Nautilus, it just makes the rest of your jungling route so slow, as all of your AoE spells that you would use to clear waves just don't really work. He's actually having a little bit of an issue. He does pop the shield and does get a lot of harassment there from the dot onto Slushy. So now Ink's gonna come back with boots and actually a sapphire crystal because Karthus did pick up one of those kills. He's going to be coming back in the lane with a sizable advantage just because he can basically spam whatever he wants all the time and do a really good job at counter pushing Slushy. Morgana is one of those really push heavy champions just because of the way that the Sanguine Pool works. It's not Sanguine Pool, you noob. It's Tormented Soil. I did just check that, so I'm actually pretty bad. But badness aside, top lane is going to be Talandra versus #1 Soon, who I believe used to be Naya. If I'm screwing that up, then they can correct me later on when they watch this. But actually, Galio doing a lot of damage to Talandra. This is one of the counter picks that Lzuruha's Digester was talking about in the initial chat log right there. So they did counterpick top lane extremely hard, going with the Galio pick, and so Talandra's not going to have a fun time. He probably will not be able to either A, outpush, or B, actually get a kill off onto Galio until maybe level 9 or so once he's fully maxed his Q. Now, as far as the junglers are concerned, we do see JDWU in the jungle picking up his Wraith camp, whereas Tedstickles is a little bit further ahead as he does have his own blue buff. No buffs so far for Nautilus, so if you check out the experience, you see it's level 2, almost level 3, versus level 3 about halfway to level 4. So a really sizable lead for Mumu. They do CV him, so they know exactly what's up. And as far as the CV count is concerned, you do actually have a Clairvoyance on, was it both teams? Yeah, it's Clairvoyance on both teams. So that's actually something really interesting. You usually see more of a flash heal combo kind of going out from teams nowadays, but actually that's pretty beastly looking. I did not notice that. All right, so looks like JDWU is going to so like Jesus do what you, I don't understand exactly what that's supposed to stand for, so maybe he can clear that up in the comments, or if he actually watches this video. Alright, so Seok DeBoss, our bottom lane on Graves, Alistar, tons of burst, tons of CC, and a lot of protection against ganks just from Alistar's headbutt. It's just really strong, especially with the Hecarim coming out. Alistar just hard counters Hecarim ganks, because you dash in and then you just headbutt him right back out. There comes in the Q, there's the W, will be down there, and Digester getting dropped to half health. He could go down here, he's actually going to get blinded there by the smoke bomb. Will they actually flash for the kill? No, that's more than one auto attack's worth of damage, and so Graves would not be able to pick that up unless he got the buckshot off, and then that would just, you know, prompt. Actually, the flash and heal are both down from Digester when he tried to get out level 1. Actually, you can see at mid lane, number 1 Ink could go down here. Yeah, the auto attack will be enough to pick up the kill. Tedsiggle's trying to get the KS out, but not fast enough, and his tears make him so sad, but so royal, and also so dead. So he's gonna, actually, I guess he's undead. Interesting question there. So Talandra top lane against number 1 soon. Galio, one of the problems he does have early levels is he runs out of mana super fast. He's waiting for, actually he probably should push this out, and it's way too dangerous to go out there. So he's just going to wait for 10 seconds. He's going to go back, pick up his Chalice or Tear, however he chooses to deal with that. Yeah, he's just going for the Chalice. Gives him extra AP because half the MR does go to his AP. Morgana pointing out that they never actually cleared their blue buff. That's a little bit unfortunate. There is one minion there. JDW hasn't been back there, and that's really going to set down the blue respawn timer. Blue does respawn in about 7 minutes and a few seconds depending on exactly what your jungler route was, and he just really needs to go back there. And actually, maybe the Jester's trying to psych them out a little bit, because the only way they know about that is from CVs, and I don't think that's where they used the last one. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna try to catch where that is at. And actually, there goes the Jester getting knocked up, and now here comes in Galio. He teleports in. He flashes, gets the ult. The Jester's gonna go down. Atomic dropping down dangerously low. Will we actually see the buckshot? No, the auto attack from Graves will pick it up. He's actually stunned in turret range. He's gonna go down to Tedstickles, who picks up at least 1 kill. The teleport flash ult there from Galio, and that is the big play that OMG Its was looking to make. That's what their team comp is centered around, and that's exactly what they wanted to pull off. The Jester commenting, they're going so try hard. This is supposed to be a fun scrim. Now they're not going to scrim them anymore. The boss is actually getting a lot of damage here off onto Tedstickles. Has to be careful, but Galio's here, will be able to pick up. Actually, no, an excellent flash. Perfect flash will dodge the resolute smite and almost pick up the kill. One more auto attack, and number 1 soon takes out Tedstickles. It's 3-5 in favor of Team OMG Its. And like, back to the matter at hand, it's Talandra and number 1 Ink. Number 1 Ink actually going top lane while Galio is teleported bot, just to make sure that he kept the farm waves pushed. And so that's going to be a little bit of a victory for Vladimir, as Galio is going to come back here, but he will miss the first line of melee creeps. There we go. All right, so matters taken care of. What we're going to see is that, Morgana's 2-0, and that's going to be really huge, because it's Morgana. She really sort of, like, she's good in laning phase because she has defensive options, offensive options, and a way to kill you with her ult, but she's super good in teamfights just because of how effective Soul Shackles is at locking people down and forcing them to make a pick slice-like choice. Excuse me. Number 1 soon runs in there to try to do the counter janglings on Tedstickles' attempt at blue buff. Doesn't actually, well, it's not actually effective. Slushy walks away with the blue buff. Has been nerfed, so her MP5 is actually not very high. It's only sitting at about 70, so it's still pretty significant. But I actually wish that Riot would put the plus and minuses, or pluses as far as like health was concerned, here in the tiny window, but maybe that's too small. I love seeing them on the new interface. It makes it look so slick. Definitely stole a page out of Dota 2's book. That's pretty welcome. Actually, Tedstickles is gonna ult. He's gonna go all the way. Dark Binding will pick up the kill there, and the last tick of Soul Shackles takes down number 1 Ink. Slushy takes a little bit of damage walking out of there, but number 1 Ink does go down. So an excellent ult. Tedstickles just knowing that any CC at all in lane would allow Morgana to follow up, and then it's just another one of the strengths of Morgana, and this will translate into the first dragon of the game. Excellent shot calling from Team Lzuruha. Man, I gotta get some water or something or other. Atomic and Slushy are gonna try to zone for Testicles. There is a ward inside Dragon. There's flash up actually for JDWU, so he could go in here. Testicles actually dropping really low. DeBoss tried to get it done, and who actually gets it? I do believe that was in fact picked up by Team Lzuruha. So actually the ult being used on Testicles, or was it just Atomic? Slushy's gonna be forced to flash over the wall. We could see a flash, yeah. Oh my goodness, and the missed hook misses Digester, and so that's going to allow every single member from Team Lzuruha to make it out alive. However, here comes the card. This ult isn't enough. No, it's not. Digester and Slushy live. Black Shield not actually used there by Slushy, so he just wanted to get out of dodge. This will be a counter jungled red buff, however, and so after the initial counter junglies, that's actually going to be given. Oh no, the dot picks it up from Nautilus. Ugh, that's not what you want. It was supposed to go originally over to Graves. Nautilus picks that up, and so that's not the worst case scenario. Triple Doran's Graves, and actually after the nerf here to Doran's Blades, only give you plus 80 health instead of the previous plus 100. It's actually pretty significant. Number one soon is actually could go down here to the Vlad ult. It's actually gonna live and try. Oh my goodness, he actually flashes out. Vlad's gonna take a couple turret shots, pops the heal, and will make it out alive. Talandra with the troll heal. Oh my goodness, I know Dyrus just posted a video of him troll healing with Jarman doing the knockup combo under turret for the kill. Talandra just did kind of the reverse of that, using the troll heal to turret dive effectively. Actually started magic penetration boots, which is in response to going up against such a heavy magic resist tank as Galio. That's actually a really interesting choice, so we're actually going to see an ult here. JDW's coming in, he's going to get the CC off, but with the bubble, Morgana just walks away. He's going to land a Dark Binding, but that's not going to be enough to pick up the kill there on to Nautilus. So what was I going to say ahead of time? There's the CC, there was the steal of the buffs. Oh yeah, the choice of boots on Vlad is actually pretty key. If you go Magic Pen, you're looking to get champion kills. If you go for CDR boots, what you're looking to do is have your Tides of Blood off of cooldown as much as humanly possible, push the wave, and just AFK push waves into turrets, because you can do that because you sustain so much once you get your Woda up. And we actually do see a Woda and Sork shoes completed here for Talandra. He's going to be able to do basically whatever he wants, and you'll notice he keeps Tides of Blood up at 4 stacks, because once you do have any form of spell vamp, that does make it productive, you know, as far as the health regen is concerned, and all you have to do is like land any of your spells, and you do go ahead and pick up you know, enough health to sustain that. Just a little bit of micro required. JDW pushing up top lane. Talandra is really pushed right out. You can see soon going in now. This should signal Talandra that something is not right. He's going to be forced to go around. We could see a Galio ult, and that will set up for the ult coming out from Nautilus. The pool does block that extra speed from Galio's Righteous Gust. The Talandra gets hooked. He has no more defensive options. He's going to try to make it to the bush. Does he have flash available? No, he just has Ghost Heal and will go down there with no more options left available. So an excellent gank there from JDWU, ganking all the way through Vladimir Pool, which actually got rid of his ult. Excellent CC coming out from Galio, both in the forms of you know, CC and then, you know, buffing with the Resolute. It's the Righteous Gust. Yeah, that's what gives you the speed buff. So that's just going to go back in full view of Karthus. And so you got to look at what the plans are for both teams at different stages in this game. You've got, you know, sort of who's better, you know, during which phase. Right now, we're coming up on the end of the early game, solidly getting into the mid game, which is anywhere from like 12 to 13 minutes, all the way up until sometimes it lasts as long as like 20, 22 minutes. If you have a 22-minute laning phase, you know you're trying to deliberately, you know, draw things out even longer because you have hella strong late games. So what you got to look at is Talandra. Talandra's going to get really strong late game. Vladimir's just so strong. He has percentage damage increase on his ult, and when you combine that with the Amumu ult, just a lot of really strong AoE power. Plus you have the AoEs from Morgana, and then Ashe has a lot of AoE just from her volley, and then her ult does magic damage, so it's not really damage AoE, but it does have an AoE stun / slow. So not really an AoE team from bot, but the rest of the members of the team all have really strong AoEs, amplified by Vlad. And as far as the rest of the team is concerned, you have AoE on Karthus, you have AoE on number one Soon running top lane, you have some degree of AoE on JDWU, and then Graves, obviously one of the stronger AoE AD carries. So the arrow is actually going up middle lane. Oh, will we see an impact? No! Number one Ink actually dodges at the last second. Oh my goodness, that would have been a kill, like no questions asked. That's an Ash Arrow does damage to Dark Binding to pool the ult. Actually, ult, yeah, was available at level 2. Would have been able to pick up the kill. The boss and JWU know that there's no ward in the Tribush. They're just looking to go in here onto the helpless Atomic. What are you doing? They hate Digester. Like, this guy has been getting so much. And actually, a Hawkshot being used down lane. The bait is too good. Sayuk turning around. He's exhausted. Digester's like, what's going on right now? Digester knows what's up now as, do I have colorblind mode turned on? No, Digester will go down here. One more auto attack will solidify the kill. The flash is used. The heal actually will get him out alive. And flashing over the wall, Digester with the trolls makes it out alive. There's no Twisted Fate, so they don't know exactly where he is. He's just going to wait and either suicide into turret or try to make it out alive. Actually, JDW could keep it from suiciding. He's actually still alive. No, he gets hit by the last auto attack and picked off at the turret. Meanwhile, number 1 Ink will go down. Slushy's gonna get jibbed instantaneously. Ted Sickles tries to make the best of a bad situation by popping his ult there, but will go down as well. And that is the counter play. Actually, that's just all the plays being made there by DeBoss and company. He was instrumental in that, as well as just every single person on the team making it to the right place at the right time, picking up 3 for 1, which is huge, especially like against Lzuruha. This is a team that's been together for 3 or 4 months. They know one another. They've played in big tournaments, placed, you know, as high as top 2 in some of the tournaments. Digester's won tournaments like you know, LANs, and has been big in a lot of other gaming you know, esports realms. So they definitely are champions. They know what's up, and to do this well against them as, you know, Team OMG Its, which no doubt when you guys are tarrying your high elo solo queue, just definitely make sure to watch out for these guys, because apparently they're pretty good. I'm not sure if you know. Did the boss actually get gold for that? Yeah, it was actually just delayed because the gold lingers behind. So that was actually taken successfully by OMG Its. It's going to be, excuse me, their first dragon of the game, and I think they split that evenly. Those are taking the first one. So things tied up in dragons, but not in kills. 10 kills, or not 10 kills, 10 kills actually for OMG Its. Down 4, only 6 for Lzuruha. But if you look at the gold count, it's actually in Lzuruha's favor. Now, it's not a very big margin. It's only about 500 gold, which is still significant, but it's you know, something that's you should probably look out for just as far as the farm is concerned. There's one thing about Digester. He knows how to last hit those minions, actually. And so if you look at the difference in build between an 0 and 3 Digester, ugh, he's been getting shut down extremely hard. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. Like, you saw the crazy jukes he did over the wall, just making the very best of every single situation and doing everything he can. He's just been getting camped like this whole time. There goes out the Ash Arrow. What will it hit? It hits a Karthus. The Dark Binding's down, and that's a dead Karthus, giving Digester the first one of his kills. He's definitely getting all the assists and now picks up a kill, so that's going to be good for him. He finally gets that kill, which will allow him to pick up the first big item that he needs. He really needs to pick up that BF sword, forced to go for the poor man's BF sword and picking up that pickaxe, whereas, oh wait, Graves has triple Dorans into Bloodthirster. So this guy's lifesteal right now is at 25%. He's got, let's see, 369 plus another 1.8, that's actually 13, almost 14% lifesteal there. Ugh. Nobody wants to deal with that. They did just nerf a lot of the lifesteal values to keep it from being such a huge part in the 80 carries roster. But Bloodthirster first, plus the 9% from the Doran's Blades, as well as the Vampirism Mastery. It's going to let Graves survive for a long time. Slushy forced to pop the black shield there to get him out of the boss's inevitable Cowpocalypse-esque ganks. There's actually gonna be the ult, the knockup, and Slushy goes down before he can ult. So key, just locking up Slushmeister before he can pop his ult, and that just took him so out of the game. That was Lzuruha's team fight. That was exactly what they were trying to accomplish. They wanted to chain Morgana ult into a Mumu ult. Mumu actually still has ult, but the Digester's like, you know what, guys, just take the loss, give up the turret, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Digester desperately needs to get some form of farm. He's going to go bottom lane and pick up as much as he can. Probably will be able to take this turret, but while he's down there taking one turret, they're actually going to trade 2 turrets here. I actually think that was a pretty good trade. There's nothing Lzuruha could have done to, you know, defend the first turret. They probably could have pulled back and maybe kept the second turret alive, but much better idea to just go ahead and trade turrets. Digester will take down the bottom one and will be able to full clear a couple waves, so that's actually exactly what they were looking for. Atomic using the newly improved, and by improved I mean heavily nerfed Janna ult to try to get out of there. Dark Binding's actually going to attempt to protect Vlad right there. Slushy Zonya's thing in the midst of her ult. Will JDW go down? No. Slushy's just trying to get out of there. Has double shield on and will actually back out. The ignite's on JDWU, but his shield does allow him enough effective HP to get out of there alive. Now, there are a lot of possible options here. It looks like they're just going to go ahead and back out. No, they're going to get greedy, and they're going to go for the and one, and that will be picking up the blue buff here. I don't know if I like this situation because that will allow a really strong counter push for Team Lzruha. They take the blue, they drop a pink ward, and if they try for a Baron here, yeah, that's not going to be a good option. Excuse me. Quick drink of water as yelling for hours on end is a little strenuous. There we go. So back to the matter at hand. 7-13. So Lzruha is still down to 6 kills, but they do have a gold disadvantage. It's only down by 600-700 gold. And apparently, yeah, Attack Things keep queuing about exactly how much he gets to cast. I know. Scumbag independent casting can. What are you gonna do? Digester picking up the kill with his arrow. The Karthus ult is down. It's not gonna be able to pick up any kills per se, but it will drop the entire team for Lzruha down extremely low. Sayuk gets dark binded. Look at how much he heals off of that. There comes in the ult from #1 soon. It's dropping Lzruha down even lower. So many deaths are about to transpire. You're gonna see Digester and Atomic way in the back, but they do actually wind up turning around, picking up #1 soon. Every single member from the team is flashing red right now. You guys can look at the sidebar and see exactly how volatile that their oh my goodness, their team is right now. They had to just make that call, turn around, pick off Galio, and between Karthus and Galio, they just so much AoE. But that's the thing about AoE, you need a single target during that, and that single target was Sayuk. He had to get out of there in order to avoid being picked off during the impending, counterattack. But what was really key is that you just saw exactly how effective Lzruha was at splitting the damage and knowing the capabilities and the strengths and the survivability of all of their heroes. They took Karthus ult, Vlad did pool that, and then they took Galio ult, and just a really good job here by Lzruha to just make it out of there alive. Oh man, so after all of those intense team fights, what we do see is, 2 kills in the advantage, or at least +2 kills for Team Lzruha. They're only down by 4 right now, and they are actually climbing into the lead as far as gold is concerned, but still, anybody's game as far as that is the case. It's 1 tower up here for OMG Its, but not a Baron, just a ward clearing attempt here. A little bit of Dora the Explorer by Atomic, but does have her street crossing buddy Talandra there to hold hands. There's a show on the radio. It was like Howard Garrett. He did like a plant show of like horticulture and botany and whatever, and he had this song about holding hands and walking together before you cross the street. It's the cutest thing. I can't get out of my mind. That's not exactly very important. I just had to mention that anecdote because it's hilarious if you ever get a chance to check that out. Back to actual League of Legends things that you people actually care about. This is going to be an OMG It's trying to go for this dragon. This isn't probably the best option because they're going to be able they're going to allow Lzruha to get positioning on them. Wards over the wall. If they get this for free and Lzruha does not punish, that's going to be pretty significant. Yeah, they are just going to get the dragon, walk away, but blue buff is now up, and that could be pretty key as Smite is actually down here. I clicked on Alistar because I thought it was Cowpocalypse Jungle. We're actually going to see it initiate. The Karthus wall is off. They're going to jump in here onto Talandra, but an instantaneous, jump out there from Sayuk. They're going in on the 10 signals. 10 signals will get insta-gypped, just way caught out of position. The boss is in there. Slushy's in there. Gets Zonya's, so he will dodge the majority of #1 Soon's ult. He's going to go down. #1 Ink could be the next to fall. Yes, Karthus will go down. The Jester has to make sure he gets out of it alive. Atomic will not be so fortunate. It pops the shield, just not enough. Talandra's actually still engaged, still alive. JDWU is actually lagged. I don't know why he was just standing there, but standing still. And the Jester wins the trade, picks up a double kill, and then you kind of wonder where that 0-3 Ashe was. I was looking and I can't find him. It looks like he's gone 7-3, and I don't think that they actually understand what happened. Yeah, Nautilus saying there's a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance. He definitely could have picked up that was such a key fight. He had to be there for. All he had to do, I apologize if there's been like a knocking noise. I just get kind of excited and bump my mic cord. But so here's what would have happened if Nautilus had been there. He would have been able to get any form of CC onto Digester, which would have allowed, you know, that combined with any sort of damage, would have allowed Graves to pick up the kill on Digester. Graves would be +1 instead of -1, and he's actually only up 1 death, or down 1 death, compared to Digester. Like, sure, he has another 5 assists, which is going to give him a lot of gold. You actually see you know, conflagration. That means set on fire. A convergence, but I meant the opposite of convergence, a conflict. Yeah, that's the word I was going for. Conflict. A conflict of builds between Sayuk and Digester. See, what they're going for is really champion specific. Ashe does have volley for AoE, but what she's mostly concerned with is single target. Oh my goodness, guys, it's been a long day. Single target nuke damage, so you just want to have as much damage on a single target as you could possibly get. That's what you get from the crit damage. Crit is on auto attacks, not on abilities, whereas a lot of Graves damage comes from his ult, comes from buckshot, and for that you want as much flat damage as humanly possible. You can already see that a Bloodthirster's already up to 24, Max is out at 100, and here we go. There's the Shurelias, but with that's you know, an immediate backing off from Lzuruha. Nothing's going to be made of that. It's going to be up in about 25 seconds. If I'm reading that correctly, we're going to check Cowpocalypse out here. He's actually not the one running Shurelias. It's actually their jungler Nautilus turning his gold per 5s into a useful item for the whole family. I feel like you could advertise that relatively effectively. It's up in about 30 seconds, so I was way premature. With my estimation there, Slushy's just hiding right around the corner out of vision. If we go ahead and check out the vision for both of these teams, I hit C accidentally. We're going to see that's there's a lot of warding. You have a minion push top lane for Lzuruha. They have wards in top jungle, nothing bottom jungle. Same thing, actually, they're diving the turret. Lzuruha's Digester takes out the turret itself, but Digester not wanting to get CC'd here by #1 soon. Will we see a Galio ult? No, he's just going to go down. Karthus ult is available. Will it take out Talandra? Talandra goes down. So does the support, and that's actually going to be a triple kill for Vladimir. Double kill for Graves, and right now it's going to be the duel of death once again. Sayuk trying to get out of there. Will he be able to make it out? No, the flash in from Digester's actually going to trade 1 for 1, but Digester scores the ace. Ted Stickles making it out with just a sliver of health, and team fights don't get a whole lot closer than that, ladies and gentlemen, as Ted Stickles makes it out with just above 200 HP. He's just like little movie. He's like, he wants friends, but everyone around him just dies. It's like watching Hamlet in League of Legends. But if you guys haven't checked that out, go hit up Shakespeare. He knows where it's at. Ted Stickles, man, I don't even know what to say, guys, because this kid is like, he's so lonely. He's just a little yordle. He just wants friends, and then they all died. So that's a little bit sad. And actually, #1 soon popping out of nowhere is like, how's this for a friendship? And it's not really one of those friendships that you have. Maybe you guys have experienced this before, and there goes #1 soon, experiencing probably what you guys have had happen to a few of your less successful relationships, where you just go in there and you're trying to make friends, but eventually one of you just takes the other one out. It's just, ugh. It was the worst of times. It was the worst of times, to quote another famous author. So we're going to actually see a Baron attempt here for OMG Its. This is not what they want to do. They have Karthus there, so they do have fast Barons available. Apologies for the little camera jerk there. But what they do also have to deal with is Slushy. Slushy is being pushed away there by DeBoss. Excellent zoning there by DeBoss and Sayuk. And actually, there's going to be a peel here for JDW. Sayuk's going to get dropped here almost instantaneously. Taladra will pick up the kill there. And that's going to actually create a perfect zoning from Digester. He got perfect peel during that entire team fight. It looks like Slushy came in from, or Talandra came in from the back, got an excellent ult, and now Digester's gonna pick up 1 more kill. It looks like we do have an undead Karthus trying to create a pretty good zone. Alistar will fall. Talandra will chase here on to #1 soon. His laning partner soon does look like he will escape, going all the way up there. I'm trying not to make you guys nauseous, but that was perfect positioning from Team Lzruha in that last team fight. You just saw not necessarily Peel, but Digester just so far removed from everything. He's like, all right, guys, I'm gonna let you brawl it out in there, and nobody focus the Ashe. Just pay no attention to the Ashe behind all the walls of beefcakes, and that was basically Ted Stickles, who is just doing so well on Jungle Amumu. You don't really see a lot of Jungle Amumus these days. I mean, I've seen like St. Vicious has tried him out a couple times, seen Oddone do him like once, but he's really fallen off just because of how blue buff dependent he is. He's actually already gone ahead and picked up Abyssal Scepter just because of the amount of magic damage here onto Team OMG Its. There's the ult pop by Ted Stickles. Will it be enough to take out Sayuk? So much lifesteal, only half stacks lost here on the Bloodthirster. Ted Stickles will go down here. Number one soon gets Dark Bound instead of Binded. I think I've been saying that a whole lot. They're actually going to have a Shurelya's available, I believe, as well. If Nautilus wants to pop that, it's actually down after just being popped during the Righteous Gust. Coming out from Galio, there's actually a ward in the bush. No oracles actually here. And with Ted Stickles down, there's no smite. And actually, Digester is about half health. He's being forced to heal up. Heals about 40 or 100 on crits off of those raids. He's going to heal up, and now he's coming back into the fight. And will this actually be allowed? Or will this actually allow OMG Its to pick this up? There comes the arrow. There comes the initiate. A lot of damage coming out. Just poking here by Digester and Talandra. Looks like they do actually pick that up, but an instantaneous knockback there from Janna. You saw how fast she pushed that ultimate and able to cancel the ult there from number one soon. Here we go. Slushy's going to get burst out instantaneous. The Baron buff is so huge. Talandra is getting caught in the middle of everything. Cools out. Will the ult be enough to deter them from going in onto Talandra? He's doing so much damage. Sayuk has to be so careful, but a good headbutt out by the boss. We'll pick up that kill. Now, number one Ink actually did die in that, and that's actually maybe a conscious choice because he did want to get that ult off. Doesn't actually pick up a kill, but he does pick up Death Cap on his way out. Inhibitor has been taken down here. I think I commented on that earlier. If I didn't, then my apologies, because that was pretty significant, and you guys are probably raging the stream like, oh my goodness, Rapid, you're so bad. Just look at the minimap. And I definitely should have picked that up. But in case I didn't, there's going to be double Shurelya's picked up. Actually, Alistar will grab that along with JDWU. I believe Cypher, French team, was actually one of the first teams to popularize multiple Shurelyas. I think they did a triple Shurelya's build along with Skyout's high CDR Nasus, which is just like the greatest thing I've ever seen in the history of League of Legends. Here we go. We got a Dragon here completed for Team Lzuruha. They've picked that up, and so as far as the gold count is concerned, they're solidly in the lead for gold. They're even on kills, so they have pulled back the kill disadvantage, and right now it's probably up to the next team fight. Unless we see another one of those crazy team fights, you can see a Lzuruha's Digester. I always want to say Digester's Lzuruha, which makes absolutely no sense, but Spooterisms being as prevalent as they are, I cannot help but engage them whenever humanly possible. So the reason I say it's going to be all about the next team fight is you start to see all of these core items completed. The great thing about the OGN tournament in Korea is that they have the third match be blind pick, which means that if you do tie, you can run a perfect team comp. You can get whatever champions you want. You could even see mirror matchups. And while there are no mirror matchups here, once you get late game, you have the team comp that you set out to accomplish. You're like, okay, from the get-go, this is what we want to accomplish. And when you go late game, and when you give yourself an 11-4 Ashe with full build, there's nothing more you could possibly ask for. Like, this is what they're planning on. This is the team that they want to use to execute, and they chose this team with this next team fight in mind. They're like, okay, given this circumstance, we will be able to win. At least that's the perspective that they entered the game with. So you do see Lzuruha grouping up here around the top of the map. They're going to try to farm this out and make a play on this turret, but Ted Stickles is going to go in here. He's going to initiate a little bit prematurely. Sayuk actually gets arrowed there. An excellent ult from Slushy. He's actually going to get picked off pretty fast. All coming off there from Karthus. So many deaths going down. 1 and 2. Actually, no, yeah, there goes Slushy. But 4 down for Team OMG. It's the Jester falling, so you can pick up another kill. Sayuk picks up the kill on Vladimir, and a pentakill picked up by Graves. Oh my goodness, Sayuk, what are you doing? I don't know. I'm just not sure. Riva. I'm not Korean, but that was absolutely ridiculous. How do you do that? What is this sorcery? Sayuk, casting the black magic, knows what's up and picks up a pentakill. I don't even know, man. Like, right now, Jester's just thinking like, dang, what's up, son? I just got schooled. And he's actually probably a little bit more optimistic about that, and if he's just raging his team, then shame on you. But what is certain is that Sayuk right now, that guy is getting really big. He has a full build that is not really full. See what he has. See, let's compare builds right now. There's a really different philosophy here as far as AD carries are concerned. You can see both of them just ridiculously fed, and I'm gonna try to follow the action while I talk about this. But you can see that there is no Dorans here. You can see Ashe working on her Bloodthirster, but the key to that fight, you saw Graves drop ridiculously low, and he had the sustained damage from auto attacks and the burstiness from his damaging spells. Ashe's spells not really so much. Like for Ashe, you have Hawk Shots and you have Volley plus the slow, so you really only have one damaging spell plus the ult. Whereas Graves, you have Buckshot, you have the a little bit of burst damage from your Smoke Bomb, you have your ult as well, you have Quick Draw, which gives you extra attack speed, which is essentially like an insane steroid. Like, let's check that out right now. Sayuk max level on Quick Draw gives you 80% increased attack speed. Like, that's ridiculous steroid. Like, you really just cannot 1v1 that. And combining that with the Bloodthirster just allowed him to drop super low but still sustain through that team fight and get the pentakill. Here comes in the next fight. OMG Inc. is going to go down immediately. There comes out the ult. You can see Digester cleansing that immediately. Atomic trying to push JDW off. JDW could go down here, but we actually see a key ult there from Talandra, who will pop Zanya. Sayuk getting out once again. Will make it out. It looks like it actually should have hit the ult there, or the ult damage at least, but that was an insanely good fight for number one Inc. There's the Dark Bunny on JDW. He's gonna actually go down. Talandra MVPing it up. Slushy with the plays from the back. Sayuk's just absolutely monstrous right now. This guy just cannot be stopped. He picks up a double kill, and that's gonna make it who's up for Lzruha? They have Atomic, they have Ted Stickles, both of whom are nowhere near their base, and they're actually just gonna run straight up the mid lane. The boss looks like he's gonna tank the turret. The 5-second lag where nothing happened for Digester apparently was pretty OP in that situation, as I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's no way Lzruha could have misplayed it that badly. But excellent play here from OMG Its. They're going to push into the base. They take down the first inhibitor. They're actually going to go ahead and back out on that. I'm really surprised. They know that Baron buff will respawn in about 30 seconds, so they're going to back off. They're going to check out buffs, and then they will just go ahead and B. I actually think that this could give Lzruha the chance that they need to come back in the game. You see Ted Stickles going for a little bit more of an AP build here on Amumu. That's actually pretty surprising, as you do see a lot of Amumus go for, tankier builds, like some of them get the magic damage off of a Sunfire Cape, as well as, like a Force of Nature or something crazy like that. This kid is just going all out damage. He's going for a really strong AP Amumu build. He is still tanky. He has 2200 health, but a lot of Amumus you see reach like 3500 just from a lot of, either Warmogs or Sunfire Cape. So he still has 1 gold per 5. He did sell the rest of his gold gen. Sorry, man, my throat is like absolutely killing me. This is like one of the most insane games I've seen in a long time. Both teams grouping up here around Baron. They do have every single member alive, so even though there was a shift in the way that the team fight went last time, you just saw, the last one, the pentakill, was pretty close until you realize that Graves just destroys everyone. And this one, however, is going to be a little bit more decisive. Both teams actually have the exact builds that they want. Actually, Digester does not have a Bloodthirster yet, so actually the boss could ult here. He's actually going to not ult. That's pretty key. That takes a lot of guts to be able to go in there. Oh, wow, Slushy almost getting the slow out here. Here comes the initiate from Atomic. He's going to ward there and try to push the rest of OMG Its off. The boss gets caught once again. This time he will ult. That's going to signal the initiate. The ult coming off here from Amumu. Amumu actually not, doing very much. Gets burst down immediately. Sayuk getting hit by the burst damage from Slushy. Could this be enough? Sayuk goes down. I don't even know what to say here. Lzruha having the perfect team fight of their life. They pick up 1, 2, 3. JDWU goes down. To boss is the sole surviving member back at the base. I don't even know. Okay, thanks, laps. I get it, you're pro, but oh my goodness, that was the team fight that Lzuruha should have had last time. Unfortunately, the lag was a little bit OP, but oh my goodness, this could be the turning point of the game. Digester's just gonna walk straight in there. He's gonna try to not let the let's see how much AD do these guys have. 300 damage super minions. That actually really chunked Digester. He almost went down, was not able to pick up the inhibitor, and that just means that was a horrible play because he's gonna be out of position this entire, you know, for the next the rest of the game. Well, not the rest of the game, the rest of this next cycle, because what's going to happen is he's going to be able to go over here and pick up a Baron buff. Actually, will they be able to take this down? I'm not sure they actually have the damage. Actually, yeah, Slushy's here now, so they will be able to trade tank this or do enough damage to pick that up. They don't have Smite, but no Smite on the bosses. He's not jungling Alistar. This will be a Baron buff, and that will be Baron actually on every single member of Team Lzuruha. They do, you know, they wait for everybody to respawn. I don't think it was actually that close, but it's gonna be a Baron buff to Lzuruha versus, excuse me, an OMG Its that had a pentakill grade. So you do have an 0-4 Alistar, not really that big a deal. He does have 26 assists, so he's definitely been getting that gold from GP5s. And actually no Aegis completed there. I'm pretty surprised they did put that on Nautilus instead. So Nautilus going in for a much more support-heavy build. Atomic not walking into the boss. They know it's not worded, so it looks like this will be where OMG Its wants to make their plays. JDWU is actually not in position right now. Ping's going out. They know that they want to have him in there. And Cowpocalypse-esque Jr. wants to show himself there. Did in fact do that, but now that JDWU is here, they're going to camp this bottom jungle as hard as they possibly can. Inhibitor is actually up for OMG Its, whereas it is down for Team Lzuruha. And I don't know what to say right now, guys. This is so intense. This next team fight is going to be absolutely devastating. I have to say, man, if Sayuk does what he's been doing this whole game, it is going to be, like, not very happy. Talandra's going to walk into the bush and do... No, don't do it, Talandra! He actually dodges all the CC baits out the initiate, and now JDW just has no breaks. Slushy's actually only going to get a one-man ult. It's going to stun soon out of his ult, however. Oh, no, my goodness. Sayuk will go down here to 10 Stiggles. MVPing it up. Pops the Zayas. We'll get one more spell combo off. Could be enough to take down number one Ink. And number one Ink will, in fact, go down. Will he pop the ult? The ult is good. The ult is down. It takes out Digester. There's 3 down to 4 down. Number one soon, the last surviving member for Team OMG. It's full health. Archangels. It's not Archangels. It's Guardian Angel. Talandra will pick up the final kill and the ace. However, only Atomic and Talandra are alive. They just keep both teams. They're so AoE that they just blow everything and everybody dies. Except this time, Talandra did actually make it out alive and basically full health with his Guardian Angel still around. You just look at this build. It's like so tanky. I mean, it's kind of like an AD top laner build with the exception of, oh wait, tons of AP items in there. And he really only has the AP items that he really needs. This game's lasted for 40 minutes. I don't know what to say. This is absolutely insane. Oh my goodness. Talandra will be doing the pushing all the way up to the inhibitor. I don't believe he will be able to get this. Actually, he could if his AP is high enough. He has 611 AP. Hella runes taking that down. And Sayuk is going to dash in here. I believe he's going to wait to quick draw until he gets up to the inhibitor. And no, the inhibitor will actually stay alive. Talandra taking so much damage from Sayuk. The inhibitor could go down. And actually, Talandra getting taken down there. No, the pool is just enough to allow Talandra to take down the inhibitor. That takes guts right there. Guts of steel, if you will. I don't know how exactly that works. It sounds incredibly painful. Talandra missing the blue wraith and just realizing, hey man, I gotta get out of dodge. Sayuk will pick up the red buff, and if he MVPs it next team fight, then obviously that's just, you know, GG either way. Just push down the middle to a AFK win. But he's going to actually have to achieve that, and that's going to be easier said than done because, I mean, we've seen him pentakill already this game, and we've seen OMG Its just dominate team fights. However, this is the late game. This is every single person has every single item that they could ever possibly humanly want. Actually, a green pot picked up there by Talandra. You never know when that one crit auto attack could be the difference between life or death. More gold picked up here, and actually there's a sizable gold difference. I did not realize there was about an 8,000 gold difference, but this is the bane of Lzuruha's existence. I cannot count how many times I've seen them go hella late game. I watched them play in a game where they had over 150,000 gold that they did, spoiler alert, inevitably lose. And if you guys have checked that out, then you know exactly how painful that was to watch. But right now, here's how the team fight's gonna go down. It's all going to depend on Soon and JDW's ults. If JDW can get a good ult off on either Digester or onto Slushy, like you saw exactly how effective the team fights went when they just like insta-CC'd Slushy with tons of knockups. If they can do that again, then it's GG. But alternatively for Lzruha, all they have to do is give Digester protection. You actually see Digester going double defensive items. He sold Cleanse Sash and went with an Archangel's. I do like that idea in that it allows you to just take the CC, die, and then gives you another chance at life, another chance at getting peel from the remaining. This is the last team fight, guys. Sorry I had to cut it off, but I'm not sure exactly how much longer I can record this. I'm running out of hard drive space. You do see a Digester almost going down there, but the exact opposite. Seiyuk and Digester battling it out. Seiyuk wins, but there is an Archangel's